What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another review for Monday Night Raw. Today we are doing the March 8th, 1993 edition, and let's get right into it. Raw starts off with a Hogan and Beefcake hype package when they, alright, kind of follow along here. They accept Money Inc.'s acceptance of the Mega Maniacs challenge. So, the Mega Maniacs make the first challenge, Money Inc. accepted, and now Hogan and Beefcake are accepting that Money Inc. had accepted already. That didn't make any sense, but whatever. This match is going to take place. They're going to have a tag team title match at WrestleMania 9. It is official as of this episode. Beefcake, by the way, doesn't have the bandage on his nose anymore, so I guess he's all healed up. They end the promo with this. Take a listen.
From New York, it's Monday Night Raw. What you gonna do?
Alright, so I know I left out a part of that, but I really just wanted you guys to listen to Hulk Hogan roaring at the end. What the fuck was that? So, the first match of the night is Virgil and Tito Santana taking on DiBiase and IRS Money Inc. IRS gets some more heat than he already has by saying something about people having to pay their fair share thanks to Mr. Clinton. Virgil, by the way, has some history with the $1 Million Man, so I'm interested to see what's going to happen if they match up before the match gets started. Virgil gets tagged in, but Ted DiBiase tags out. Randy Savage says the tag team division is hot and has a lot of great tag teams. I don't know what he's talking about. The only teams I've seen so far on multiple occasions on Raw have been Money Inc., the Mega Maniacs, and the Steiner Brothers. We have seen the Nasty Boys, the Beverlys, and the team of Coco and Owen Hart, to be fair. But to say that it's one of the greatest divisions it has ever had, I don't know about that. Tito and DiBiase bump heads. Virgil gets a hot tag against IRS and gives DiBiase a clothesline when he tries to interfere. But on the outside, Ted DiBiase hooks the leg of Virgil and allows IRS to hit a suplex for the win. So they pick up a win here on their way to take on Hogan and Beefcake at WrestleMania. They next show Tatanka beating Shawn Michaels twice as they hype their title match for Mania, one time at WWF Superstars and the other time on an episode of Raw. They go to the ring where one of the Raw girls is walking around the ring and she gets interrupted by Rick Martel. He tells her to get out and walks around the ring with the sign and people boo. The girl was good looking and the guys in the crowd really got on Martel for replacing her. Tatanka then gets a jobber match. Shawn called into commentary again, but the match ends with Tatanka hitting a Samoan drop for the win. Moving on, they throw to the WrestleMania 9 update. And I guess if you were watching at the time, this was enough of them building up the matches on these shows. But with what we've seen over the years for how they've built to their pay-per-views, I feel like they aren't doing enough to promote the show, especially since it's WrestleMania. And again, we cut to the ring where another Raw girl is walking around, and again Martel comes out to take the car from her. And if you're into females, you gotta see the camera angle they give us for this segment when she gets escorted out of the ring. Papa Shango making his Raw debut in a squash match, and he gets the win with a crazy looking move. He has him up on his shoulder, and then he drops the guy's head and neck on his knee. Really good move by Papa Shango here. Then another squash match with Bob Backlund. Vince says that Backlund is on his comeback tour at 43 years old. In today's WWE, that age would actually be the prime of his career. Backlund gets the win with a random pinning combination, and moving on from that, backstage, we have Rick Martel getting interviewed by Rob Bartlett about why he's messing with the Raw girls. He says they don't have class and wanted to show them how a real model does it. He says perfection is boring as we move into his match against Mr. Perfect. Vince McMahon predicts Perfect versus Luger at WrestleMania to be one of the greatest matches of all time. Yeah, okay. Martel reverses a move on Perfect by doing a cartwheel. Then a little later, as Perfect comes off the ropes, Martel was going to flip him over, but this time, Mr. Perfect does a cartwheel to escape. Martel goes for a splash from the apron, but Perfect gets his knees up, 2 atomic drops by Perfect, then a chop and a backdrop as they go to commercial. When we come back though, the match is already over. They show the replay and Mr. Perfect got the win with the Perfect Plex. Some momentum for him as he goes to Mania to face Lex Luger. Before the show ends, Mr. Perfect brings out the 2 Raw girls that Rick Martel interrupted earlier, and they just get some shine as Raw goes off the air. So let's go ahead and get to the awards. For the best moment, listen, I'm not gonna try to be misogynistic here, but I really like what Martel did with the Raw girls. I didn't know it was gonna pay off, but because it did, I'm gonna say those were the best moments. If I could pick more than one, that whole situation with Rick Martel. The worst moment, I had Hulk Hogan roaring into the intro for Raw. The worst match, I give to Bob Backlund and the Jobber. I mean, why was this even on the show? It was also the third Jobber match in a row, so that was even worse to have to sit through, even though I skipped it. Best match, I give it to Rick Martel and Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect doing his thing in there. I think I would be committing a crime if I didn't pick him. For the wackest performer, I gave that to Bob Backlund on Raw in 1993. Don't get me wrong, he's not a bad wrestler, but his style just doesn't work anymore in this era. For the standout performer, any other show I would pick Mr. Perfect, but I'll give it to Rick Martel. I liked him coming out and being a prick to the Raw girls. His in-ring work isn't bad. It really impressed me. And because it is the standout performer, he is going to get it because Mr. Perfect always stands out in every other show. So, my overall grade for this episode will be a solid B. Besides the open with the Mega Maniacs and maybe one too many jobber matches, I didn't mind this episode at all. Martel built his matchup with Mr. Perfect for the main event, which wasn't bad. Money Inc. getting a win. Tatanka showing why he should be in a title match at WrestleMania. Still undefeated. Papa Shango destroying some poor guy with that great looking finisher. This show delivered for what it was. I would love to see more hype in the arena for WrestleMania, but because it is 1993, I'm not going to be petty about that. That's going to keep the tally at 2 bad Raws and moves it up to 6 good Raws so far for Monday Night Raw. Alright, so that's going to be it for this review. Leave any questions or comments down below if you have any. I'll be back when I feel like it. Catch you guys whenever that is.